All right. Good morning. Good morning. There we go. We're ready to roll this morning, huh, Bosh? A little bit slow on the tart take up, but we're getting there. Sorry, I'm just looking at my dog judging me. It's like mornings are for sleeping. That's what an apex predator does. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna do a little costume drawing, fashion drawing today. So that's the plan. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oops, sorry, Bosh. Good morning, people popping in. Let's see. There we go. Happy, what is it today? Thursday? All right. Let's see there. All right. Let's go over here. Let's see. Good morning, people coming in. I appreciate that. Just doing a little morning warm up here. Bring that shoulder down a little bit more. And so get into the day of doing stuff, right? The lazy dog under my feet. Oh, 11 p.m., huh? It's got to put you somewhere in Asia. I'm in the East Coast, United States, so it's 9 a.m. I'm actually running a little bit behind here, so as I often have been lately, I'm trying to get back into the swing of things now that we're all the way done with the semester. But hello, Argentina. Ah, in Australia. Okay. I was just trying to think about the time zone change there. So I used to live in Hong Kong for a few years. See, one of my Hong Kong students, he's like a school teacher or something in Australia. I think art. Yeah, so I never made it down to Australia. Australia's just kind of really out of the way, right? Like even from Hong Kong, it's just a lot closer than the United States is, especially East Coast United States to Australia. Um, it's just kind of really far away. And then of course there's Port New Zealand. So someone's thinking I'm talking about the Instagram people. They can't see the chat from the YouTube side of things. So I think he's saying he's not Australian. He's Argentinian. But it's a couple different wildly divergent options there. The Netflix Dark Crystal sequel was pretty good. I had one of my favorite episodes. I should go back and watch it. I don't know what the name is. Huh? It's the one where the Skeksis does a puppet show. So you have puppets doing a puppet show, which I thought was pretty cool. All right, solid is no good. Oh yeah, that's right. I saw that there's that Eternauts show. Yeah, it's a good. Yeah, the show's really good. I'm just saying I like that episode that they did, where this Skeksis had did a puppet show, which I thought was pretty amazing. I think that was my favorite thing about it. Most of it was fine. I think it's one of the reasons why I didn't get a sequel. Right, is it was just kind of fine. But yeah, well, the thing is, it's an old movie, and you know, and it doesn't get the press it used to get, and people are caught up usually in the newest shiny thing. But I think, back then, at least, well, maybe it's still continuing now, but Netflix is like grabbing every IP they could to make something. They're just trying to like load their library with content. And so they made a lot of like pretty mediocre stuff. But hello, Mark. Yeah, a bunch of people popping in all of a sudden. Here. Let's see. Yeah, if anyone's over on the Instagram side, they want to see the rest of the conversation, you got to go over to YouTube or Twitch. Thank you, Daniel. You're only getting part of the conversation due to restrictions we have on the Instagram side. Yeah, old school Star Trek. Yeah, even I like a lot of the next gen era. Especially I like of those. I think Captain Sisko is my favorite captain of the next gen stuff. Running his little space station. I think during pandemic I rewatched Deep Space Nine, and I realized watching it that Quark is the hero. Like he's like the only one that has like real principles he stands by. He's always looking to make a deal, peacefully with people. I mean, there's some exceptions, but for the most part, he's like trying to like bring people together, make a deal. And the Federation is in there like stomping all over people. Like there's a whole episode, I think in the first season, where they there's like some moon, I guess, near the planet up there. I forget the name of the planet there, but they that they're the space station is next to the Bajoran people. Maybe it's Bajora, I don't remember. But there's a whole episode where they're kicking the last farmer off of this moon so they can turn it into a giant power station. And it's just like this poor innocent little farmer. He has to like abandon his home of generations because they want to turn his moon that he's been living on and farming into a power station. There's a whole bunch of examples like that where they just kind of come in and stomping all over people. But Quark, he's pretty much 99% of the time he's looking to make some kind of deal that benefits all the parties. So everyone's like a satisfied customer. But they all treat him like dirt. Which I always thought was really crazy. Because like, here's this guy trying to just like, they all hate him because he wants the latinum, the money, the cash. But it seems like that's a great way of making deals, making sure, commerce and peaceful activity can happen. But I always thought that was kind of an interesting thing about the show. Everybody's like, well, let's get really big guns out and shoot each other. And he's like, well, why don't we have a conversation and see what everybody wants and see if we can work something out together. But, Come on. There's my thin line. I added some water to this ink yesterday. It might have been a little bit too much, but that's all right. So it's like, it's like when they those videos kind of showing how Daniel in Karate Kid is actually the villain. He's always like getting up in other people's business. He's always annoying other people. He's like sticking his face in places he doesn't belong, where nothing's really going on. Rather than kind of learning about the situation, he just kind of jumps in. Well, I like old X-Men. Like my first two comics are X-Men books. Uncanny X-Men 281 and X-Men #1, which is a great place to start. You got Jim Lee and Whilce Portacio and Chris Claremont and um, lots of drama. But that was a long time ago. Oh, you mean like the movies? Yeah, well, well, they haven't really gotten into the X-Men, into the MCU yet, so we'll see what they do. I saw some article about or some news report headline about them looking at Bryan Cranston as Professor X, and while he's a fine actor, I don't really see him as that. But I suppose it's not the worst option. The problem is like Picard really like captured that role. Not Picard, John. What's his face? Patrick Stewart. Um, I think he really defined that role. Um, that's kind of a problem when you get an actor like that really defines what a character is. It's like William Shatner and Kirk, right? Like they had what's his face play Kirk in those newer movies, but it still wasn't quite the same thing. And he was like playing a cartoon version of him as well, rather than like the actual character. And that's like a J.J. Abrams thing, though. It's like he likes to play up like the superficial elements of things in order to kind of simulate authenticity. I think is a bit of a kind of just demonstrates his own lack of authentic character development. It's like he's always trying to rely on very superficial qualities. Chris Pine. One of the Chris's, right? There was like 5 of them. But like I think it's okay to like retire these media characters and move on to something else. I mean, it has to be good, and they just seem really, really hesitant about making quality things that are good. It's like I tried watching that Star Trek. What was it, Discovery, where like they're teleporting around the galaxy for some reason, and like everybody in that show is like screaming and yelling at each other and crying all the time, and like I'm like I don't know what kind of Star Trek this is, but like these people are really emotionally unstable. And then like the main character, what's her face, Michael something or other, she's like causes a war because she's impatient, and millions of people get killed, or however many it is, and then they keep talking about how they need her around all the time. Like, this lady, like, her poor decision making, like, ended the lives of millions and millions of people, and because her unwillingness to just be patient, but they put her in charge all the time. It's just like, what is going on? I didn't watch. I think I watched the first 2 seasons of that to kind of give it a chance, and then never went back. But it was like, supposedly, the Star Trek people are supposed to be like these professional, highly intelligent, highly capable individuals who, don't respond overly emotionally to things. That they, it's not that they lose their humanity or their emotions, but that they've got a larger view of things that they have to do. They're not just like running around like space pirates all the time. Even the old, you know, original Star Trek, that's what you kind of saw with Kirk. Like, he would certainly go on these adventures and have to break rules from time to time, but it wasn't like he was like throwing out the rule book every time he turned around to, satisfy some emotional incontinence. Um, appreciate that. Part of what I'm doing is practicing, so I'll draw these folds and things, or the character, or whatever, and then I'm working on the inking here as well. I rather like this nib I'm working with. It's a type, I think C3, I think is what it's called. It's a calligraphy nib that has like a flat edge, and there's different widths of those flat edges, and this one has like the medium width, so I think that's why it's number 3. Um, hopefully I've got some skills, if I teach, concept drawing and painting and illustration and figure drawing and a bunch of other things. And so, hopefully I've got some skills at this point, This nib is relatively new to me as well, but I like a lot of like the texturing and things we can get off of it. Some of these smaller, like the circles like that, I would have a hard time doing. Yep, have a good one. Um, and don't forget to drink your Foster before bed, right? With a spoonful of Vegemite. Yeah, you head down to the gym and get a nice boxing session in with a kangaroo, right? While picking, what are those guys called? Koala bears off the, koala bear roadkill off the road, right? That was interesting. All your comments just disappeared. Alright, let's see, where have I? Good morning, people popping in. Yeah, as usual, let me know if there's any questions out there. Let's see. Alright. Make sure ink is nice and thin on here. Go ahead, chop up to the head. Good morning, people popping in. Good morning. Hmm. Let's get the regular nib out for some of these smaller features on here. All right, let's get some white paint on here. All right, Bosch. Dog's like, my name? You said my name. What does that mean for me today? Good morning. All right. How do we like the inking? Is that okay? Let's see, we got 10 minutes. I'm going to draw a little face or something up here. Okay, use her shape as a reference. Let's see if I can do an okay job here. All right. So we got the bangs here going off over this way. A little bit less over here. Over the eyes. I appreciate that. I haven't heard from anybody over on DLive in a long, long time. I think I got in trouble with them. I was doing some figure drawing over there, and I guess they have very particular restrictions, so I haven't seen any growth in a long time at all over there. I'm going to zoom in where I'm working, so I'm going to go to Inkit. There we go. Sure structure is okay. Ink it, and then we'll probably call it a morning. So it's probably the easiest part back here. Hope everybody's having a good morning out there. How are we doing? Let's see. I'm just overdone it there. Good morning. Just touching up a little extra piece here, and then we're going to call it a morning study. Move on with the rest of my day. Kind of drawing her from a little bit different angle, a little bit different expression. Applied studies, if you will. Some eyelashes. All right. I think it's been an hour for the morning study, so I'll touch this thing up and all right, let's get the date on here. 250529. This is a pin reference. This is from Imagination. And then some white to go. Let's just put the black jar away first. Got a little jar of ink here that I use. I want the white stuff. And that brush, where did I put that brush down at? Let's put it away. It's always a good idea, right? All right. I feel like that's a good spot to stop for this morning. Move on to the next thing. See if I can't get started a little earlier. Let's get started a little quicker in the morning. Yeah, figure out what I'm going to do before I go to bed. Anyway, thanks everybody that came in. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you all next time.